Although television shows generally thrive on a certain level of predictability, which provides comfort to their viewers, an ingenious plot twist can elevate a series to a whole new dramatic plane. It isn't easy to get a plot twist right in a serial drama, however, without upsetting a delicate balance of storytelling and characterization which has likely taken at least several episodes to achieve. A twist at the wrong time, involving the wrong character, can provoke a backlash from fans and critics alike. Still, the best TV twists undoubtedly make their shows better, as without them, a story could become tiresome or boring. Masterful small-screen plot surprises deserve even more credit than movie twists that are pure genius, since they risk turning off audiences who may have been with a show for several years. While there are TV series which deal in plot twists by the ton as their bread and butter, the examples we're honing in on here are singularly brilliant twists that take our breath away in shows which are generally about more than just the element of surprise. 10. Squid Game, One Lucky Day. Player 001 created the game. Squid Game Season 1 was a near-perfect start for this landmark Netflix series even before its final episode, when things unexpectedly took an even darker turn. When Lee Jung-jae's protagonist Song Ji-hyun buys a flower on a city beach, he doesn't expect it to lead him to the creator of the deadly game he was forced to play a year earlier. Ji-hyun is shocked to find Illinois Nam, the old man he thought had died 3 episodes earlier, alive and with something important to tell him. The man Ji-hyun knew primarily as Player 001 in the Squid Game had faked his death, as he was actually the originator of the show's murderous game. What's more, he started the game so that he and his rich friends could have some fun betting on who would survive it. This horrifying revelation makes the entire premise of Squid Game even more sinister in a way that we wouldn't have previously believed possible. 9. Peaky Blinders, The Company. Arthur's alive. While Peaky Blinders borrows its brotherly dynamic from The Godfather, we still didn't expect to see the eldest Shelby sibling, Arthur, killed by a rival mob family before the end of Season 4. Yet that's exactly what appears to happen, until the time comes for Tommy Shelby to make a deal with Adrian Brody's New York gangster, Luca Shangretta. From nowhere, Arthur Shelby arrives, very much alive, as Tommy reveals that Arthur's death and funeral, as well as the Shelby family's submission to Shangretta, have all been a ruse to lure him to their territory. A newly revived Arthur does the rest, putting a bullet through Shangretta's heart. We're left with our jaws on the floor alongside his blooded corpse. 8. Only Murders in the Building, I Know Who Did It. Poppy White is the killer. For a show predicated on mystery, Only Murders in the Building's season-ending reveals tend to be more entertaining than awe-inspiring. But the revelation of who killed Bunny Folger in Only Murders Season 2 is a different story altogether. The show plays its hand beautifully by setting us up for the hard-earned but somewhat predictable twist of pinning Bunny's murder on celebrated murder mystery podcaster Cinder Canning. This twist is just the beginning, though. Suddenly, Cara Delevingne's Alice Banks is revealed as the real culprit, until this shocking turn of events itself becomes a ruse to tease the truth out of the true killer. All along, it was Poppy White, Cinder Canning's seemingly put-upon assistant whom the show's protagonists befriend out of sympathy. Only Murders in the Building hasn't managed to top this reveal since, and with good reason. It's one of the best murder mystery twists in modern TV history. 7. Game of Thrones, The Reigns of Castamere. The Stark family is murdered at the Red Wedding. Another show that remains in the shadow of its greatest twist is Game of Thrones. The high fantasy series features plenty of scintillating drama, both before and after its Season 3 episode, The Reigns of Castamere. However, it could never top this episode's most shocking moment. In fact, various other TV shows have tried and failed to repeat the Red Wedding, as it's widely known, since the episode aired, how iconic this twist has become in television history. The surprise massacre of Robb Stark, his wife Talisa, and his mother Catelyn, alongside the entire Stark army, is a stunning plot twist that tilts the balance of forces decisively in the Lannisters' favor. For anyone who hasn't read about the massacre in George R.R. Martin's original book series, this scene is the hardest-hitting Game of Thrones, and just about any serial fantasy drama has to offer. 6. The Sopranos, Made in America. Cut to black. Almost 2 decades after it first aired, the surprise ending of The Sopranos is still as unique and innovative as ever. The final scene of this all-time great TV series uses fast edits and short, sharp shots to build tension, as mafia boss Tony Soprano sits with his family at a diner. A suspicious man in an only member's jacket throws some glances at Tony, and Tony finally acknowledges him as he goes to the bathroom. The scene is set for an explosive finish, one way or another, until it suddenly cuts to black as Tony's daughter comes through the door of the diner. We have no idea who the man in the jacket is, or whether Tony is killed, which the scene appears to be building towards. Instead, we're left trying to work out what we've just seen. By comprehensively subverting our expectations in its final second of screen time, The Sopranos lives up to its reputation as a revolutionary work of art. We don't know exactly what happens to Tony Soprano, though The Sopranos creator has confirmed his death. But precisely because of this ambiguous ending, we know how we feel about him. Fleabag, Episode 6. It was Fleabag. After delighting us for 6 episodes with Phoebe Waller-Bridge's inimitable brand of black humor, Fleabag threw us a curveball worthy of comparison with Agatha Christie's greatest literary work, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. Whereas Fleabag Season 2 ending leaves us with unanswered questions, Season 1 springs one definitive and profoundly horrifying answer on us when we're least expecting it. By this episode, we already know that Fleabag is addicted to sex and has serious issues with all the men in her life, and that her best friend, Boo, committed suicide herself after being cheated on by her boyfriend. The episode links these two plot threads in an extraordinarily affecting stream of consciousness scene that somehow manages to make us feel deep sympathy both for and against Fleabag at the same time. 4. Black Mirror, the national anthem. Princess Susanna was already free. There might be better Black Mirror episodes than the groundbreaking anthology show's first TV outing, the national anthem. There may even be more shocking twists in other episodes of the series. Nevertheless, the ending of this first episode is one of the best applications of irony ever to reach the small screen. Although this episode is now celebrated primarily for the similarity of its plot involving a prime minister and a pig to David Cameron's real-life university hazing ritual, its greatest achievement comes through a final, cruel twist that turns its plot inside out. The British Prime Minister is forced to perform an unspeakable sex act in order to save the life of a royal princess who has been kidnapped.